Hello there, thank you for coming by. I hope you enjoyed this one. On this brief compilation on self-improvement, you will get to know one of my favorite mentors and see how knowledgeable and helpful they are. You can find the link to support their own YouTube channel down below. Share it with those you love.
Get ready for life lessons and to be inspired.
Decide who you're going to be. You should ignore what other people are doing. Don't compare yourself to other people. You're focused on your own internal progress. That's what matters. So in today's video, I want to talk about better habits to create, hopefully, a new you. The first place to start is the idea of thinking really, really small. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, says, well-being is realized by small steps, but it's no small thing, right? You don't promise yourself that you're gonna read more. You decide you're gonna read like a page a day. You don't decide that you're gonna transform your diet or your exercise. Like you start going for a walk, right? Make a small decision and then you build on it.
The power of education to overcome poverty.
A way to fix the world is through parental evolution, because the core of all dysfunction that you may or may not choose to witness in yourself really was a legacy left behind by your very generous unconscious parents. And you are suffering only because they were suffering. And this is the generational pattern of pain and unconsciousness that needs to end. So to zone in on the parent-child dynamic is to heal the planet.
The word neuroplasticity means so many things to so many different people that I thought it would be important to just first put a little bit of organizational logic around what it is and how it happens. Because nowadays, if you were to go online and Google the word neuroplasticity, you would find hundreds of thousands of references, scientific references, as well as a lot of falsehoods about what neuroplasticity is and how to access it. As I mentioned before, we're going to talk about the science of it, and we're going to talk about the tools that allow you to engage this incredible feature of your nervous system. And that's the first point, which is that all of us were born with a nervous system that isn't just capable of change, but was designed to change.
I want to talk about one of the biggest tactics that someone who is unhealthy, toxic, or abusive will use on you while you are dating to really hook you in. And this is the stuff that happens probably right before the real abuse actually takes place. Because I know so often people will ask, how do I even detect someone who's toxic and unhealthy? And of course there are like many signs, but this is going to be one of the biggies that if you yourself are not healthy, that you won't be able to see. This will be, when we talk about red flags, this is the gray flag. This is the flag that you are not going to see just outright, especially if you are codependent, if you come from that lack, that insecurity, etc. So let's get into this week's video.
What's the best way to teach teachers about trauma without getting them distracted with all the technical stuff? And what's the most important thing for them to understand and learn?
In the late 1800s, Dr. Maria Montessori was the first Italian woman to become a doctor. She worked with poor children as well as children with emotional and mental disabilities. She spent a lot of time using her medical training to closely observe these children to see exactly what it was that engaged them and helped them to learn most effectively. And then she used these observations to actually create, test out, and then refine her own educational materials for them. Dr. Montessori noted time and again several different things about the children. First, the children were much less frustrated with their work when they had tools and furniture that were child-size and down at their level. She also noted that the children responded very positively to an environment that was calm and orderly, where everything had a place.
If you have ongoing exposure to controlling people, it's a virtual certainty that you're going to experience blurry boundaries, which is why I've created the extensive online course called This Is Me, Establishing Boundaries with the Controllers in Your Life.
Do you struggle with getting stuck in thoughts about things that happened in the past? Something you went through, something you did, something that was done to you that was difficult, painful, distressing, disappointing, hurtful in some way, and you get stuck in those thoughts and have a hard time getting out of them. And when you get stuck in them, they bring up all kinds of difficult, painful, uncomfortable emotions. to the point that sometimes when you do get stuck in them, when those feelings come up, they kind of stick with you the entire day, and it can even ruin your entire day. It can throw you off for the entire day, and you don't want to keep feeling stuck in the past. You want to be able to release this pain from the past. And if that is true for you, then you're in the right place. This is what we are going to talk about today.
So the other thing that romanticism tells us is if you really love someone and they really love you, you shouldn't use too many words. You will feel an intuitive understanding with someone. And the miraculous moments in love are often about those where the other partner seems to understand you without having said anything. This is a disaster. Because this can only, it's very charming in the first 3 months. But long term, the idea that someone is going to understand you without you needing to speak or communicate is a disaster. It's a collective disaster that has marred love for millions of people. It's led to an outbreak of sulking. Because what is a sulk in love, other than a deep conviction that your lover should understand something, and they haven't understood, and that's why you're not going to tell them why you're upset. You're upset, but you're not going to tell them, and the reason you're not going to tell them, because if they loved you, they would know why you were upset. So that's why you're going to bolt yourself in the bathroom, and you won't say what's wrong. Because a true lover knows what they would be able to read through the bathroom door what was wrong with you.
The baseline description most of us give of narcissists is that they're liars, cheaters, thieves, gaslighters. They break rules in an entitled way, and they seem almost immoral at times. And these patterns are definitely not unusual in narcissism. But there is also another subset or form of behavior we can see, or form of pattern we can see narcissistic personalities take. And that is of the self-righteous, hyper-moralistic, coldly loyal, and expects that same level of loyalty, almost black and white in their moralism, narcissist.
And I've had so many rainbows in my clouds. I had a lot of clouds. But I have had so many rainbows. And one of the things I do when I step up on a stage, when I stand up to translate, when I go to teach my classes, when I go to direct a movie, I bring everyone who has ever been kind to me with me. Black, white, Asian, Spanish-speaking, Native American, gay, straight, everybody. I say, come with me. I'm going on the stage. Come with me, I need you now. Long dead, you see? So I don't ever feel I have no help. I've had rainbows in my clouds. And the thing to do, it seems to me, is to prepare yourself so that you can be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. Somebody who may not look like you, may not call God the same name you call God, if they call God at all, you see? And may not eat the same dishes prepared the way you do, may not dance your dances or speak your language, but be a blessing to somebody. That's what I think.
Thank you for watching. I see you next time.